Hello, sweet angels. My name is Amanda, your intuitive BFF and Fave spiritual girly, and I am so happy you're here. I was sitting in meditation today and I was like, you know what would be an amazing topic of conversation is trust and surrender. And I don't know if you're anything like me, but the concept of fully surrendering is kind of terrifying. Because that means that you actually have to let go of control and allow God to take the wheel over your life. And that coming from a recovering perfectionist, and perfection equals control, terrifies the living daylights out of my ego. But it's a necessary part of our spiritual journey. And so I thought, what better conversation than to talk about the notion of surrender and trust today. So wherever you are on your journey, I just invite you right now to just take a deep breath and call in the presence of God, of your angels, of your higher self, and allow them and allow their energy to just wash over you. And on that exhale, just letting go of everything that no longer serves you, whatever you don't want to carry anymore. Just letting that go. You see, our breath is actually a tool that we can use to surrender. When we breathe in, we're breathing in new life. And then when we finally let things go, we're surrendering. We're surrendering our worry, we're surrendering our anxiety, we're surrendering our stress over to God, over to the universe. We're saying we don't want to carry it anymore. And so our breath is so powerful and such a simple way in which we can learn how to surrender every day. And maybe, like I said, the concept of surrender is super terrifying and triggering. And that's okay. We must honor where we are right now. But we can use simple practices like our breath to learn how to surrender even more deeply. And when I begin to have these thoughts like, what am I doing with my life? Or all of a sudden I wake up and I'm in this space and I can feel myself. It's like a mode of transition. It's a space of transition. But in that transition, you have growth pains, which we all went through when we went through puberty. And it's the same thing, it's spiritual growth pains. Like you kind of feel like you can taste this new energy, but it's not quite anchored in. And so you go through these different like fluxes and waves. And in those moments, that's when the ego will really try to step in and bash you down back into submission. And that is when, instead of allowing for the ego to try to regain control, we can actually shift over and call on God, call on our angels, call on the Holy Spirit and say, Holy Spirit, I'm having these thoughts right now, and I just ask for you to take them from me. I'm surrendering these thoughts of doubt, of worry, of control over to you. And I just pray that in return I feel peace. And just sit with that. Sit with that peace. Knowing that that peace is yours. You deserve that peace. And it's so interesting the way the spiritual journey works, because we can think we have everything planned out, but then again, that's just the ego trying to determine how our life is set out to look. We can have these dreams, but we may not, but let me pause. But we are not wanting to get too attached to them. And I could find a better word and phrase to say that. We don't want to become too attached to our dreams, because the way in which we operate and get to our dreams is going to be God's way, not our way. And when we tune into our capacity of how we're going to get to our dreams, right? Like the path that we're gonna take, and we have everything mapped out. Like when something doesn't happen, then we're met with disappointment, and it's because we attached an expectation onto it. But when we learn to surrender all of that, then all of a sudden we're just in the moment, we're in the present moment, and we can actually tune in to what our heart is saying, to what our higher self is saying. And this comes in with the notion of trust. We must develop a relationship with trust, a relationship with God in which we can trust that even though nothing, quote unquote, nothing appears to be moving on the outside, everything is changing on the inside so that you can receive the life of your dreams. But it's the notion of non-attachment mixed in with surrender that really allows you to build that trust. So the next time that you are just sitting with worry or fear of, I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm doubting myself, and you can feel yourself wanting to take control of the situation, all I'm asking you to do is to call in the Holy Spirit, to call in something far greater than ourselves that isn't bogged down by the product of the ego, and just ask for them to take it from you. Ask for them to take the attachment to your dreams, to take over and bring you peace. And then ask, what is the next best thought that I can hold right now for myself? Maybe that's just honoring yourself where you are. Maybe that's offering yourself some forgiveness and some grace. You know, we beat ourselves up all the time. And how can we learn to release that and let go of that? For not doing what, quote unquote, we set out to do, but ultimately we're on our own path and it will get done. And one thing I want to leave you with is everything that is meant for you will come to you. But it's not on our time, it's in God's time. All we are asked to do is to be open to receive, knowing that we are being led to who we're meant to meet, to what we're meant to do, and what we are meant to see. In that time frame of now versus whenever our dreams materialize, what God is asking us to do is to hold faith, gratitude and trust, and love for ourselves. The more we can learn to build a relationship with ourselves and with God, the more that we can learn how to trust what we cannot see but what we can feel and we know to be true. So I pray over you guys today. I pray so much love, so much joy, so much peace into your days and into wherever you are on your journey. And I just want you to know that we are all in this together and you are so loved. So I just hope that if any of these messages resonated for you, just be sure to like, share, and follow along for more ways in which you can live an intuitively guided life. And be sure to let me know in the comments anything that resonated with you. Thank you so much.